One word that comes to my mind when I think of the villages and Cornerstone really is partnership. Because we've taken the approach of listening and trying to serve, and the community of the villages has responded in all kinds of ways. Material support, volunteer support, financial support, and it's that partnership of working together, of identifying needs and bringing the resources and putting that all together. That allows us to fulfill our mission, but really then the village community, it helps us to take care of them in the way that they deserve. Cornerstone is a community-based hospice that started right here in Central Florida. A group of volunteers at the old Waterman Hospital in downtown Eustis started us almost 40 years ago. And our mission, it's easy to say, but it's probably hard to fulfill, which is providing extraordinary care to every person we touch in every community we serve. Our relationship with the villages and our ability to care for folks in the villages has been vital to our growth and success over the last 40 years. As the villages have grown, so has Cornerstone. And over that time, we've been able to build an amazing team with the support of the Morse family, the donations that they made for land, and from clubs, all kinds of clubs. Over the years, we've grown from serving 1 or 2 patients. Right now, we serve over 100 patients every single day in the villages. And over that same 40 years at Cornerstone, we've grown to have about 700 staff and over 1,000 trained volunteers. And then about 15 years ago, we realized that there were a lot of folks who had retired here, and their kids were still up in Wisconsin or Ohio or Tennessee, and they needed a place besides their own house to receive care. And so we went to the Morse family and to the villages and said, you know, we need to build a hospice house right here in the heart of the villages. And their response was a resounding yes. Folks in the communities within the villages have just over and over reached out. I can remember a young man who was such a Gators fan, who was related to some folks within the villages. And the community came out and got everything from jerseys to a Tim Tebow autographed football and just made this younger man's final days amazing. There's a gentleman named Paul Farino. Colonel Farino leads a group of volunteers who they have gone into hundreds and hundreds of homes of veterans who've served our country and honored them with flags and pins and awards to help express our appreciation through Cornerstone. We call it Cornerstone Salutes. So if someone said, hey, I've heard about the villages, what's that like, Chuck? I would say the villages is probably the most dynamic community that you're going to find around. Whether it's the growth of people coming in, business and availability, activity levels. And the really neat thing is if you start talking about, well, how does Cornerstone fit into that? It's that whatever age you are, whatever level of activity you like, we all want to make sure that we're vibrant and healthy and alert and alive and living life to the fullest to the very end. And that's what we try to make sure that at Cornerstone we can provide. Because we don't know how many days we have left. We all want more days. But what our mission is to make sure that for those of us who we have some limitation on the number of those days, we want to make those days as good and as bountiful and as beautiful as possible.